Freedom and beauty to everyone, I am the Technomage, and welcome to my review of Star Wars The Acolyte Episode 6, Teach Corrupt. And I said this many times throughout my review of this series that the creators of this series, the producers, the writers, and especially the showrunner, Leslie Hendlen, former Harvey Weinstein personal assistant, by the way, have so little creativity, so little imagination, and so little talent that what little content they managed to come up with for this series, they are shamelessly stretching it as much as they can to fill the 8 episodes of this season. And this episode, in particular, episode 6, proves it. It proves me right. Why? Because nothing happened. Nothing at all. The plot barely advances one step forward. Barely. And that is being generous. Now, what this episode did accomplish was revealing one great mystery about this series. Because remember, this series was supposed to have 2 great mysteries. The first one was the identity of the stranger, Smiler Ren, which was unceremoniously revealed last episode. And the other mystery is what happened with the Witches of Brendok 16 years ago. What? Did they finally reveal that? No. Because, by the way, they teased it over and over again 3 times in this barely 30 minutes episode. Because yes, this is another 30 minutes long episode. It's another short episode, which honestly should have been barely like 10 minutes of an actual episode. 3 times Master Soul was this close to reveal what happened in Brendok 16 years ago, and he always got interrupted. They just teased it, jungling the keys right in front of their faces. Hey, you wanna know? You wanna know the big mystery? The big mystery? Wait another week. No. The big mystery I'm talking about is why they created this series. The reason of existence, the raison d'etre of this production. Why is Disney Lucasfilm wasting $180 million in this enormous pile of rubbish? Well, it's because of this man, Darth Plagueis, also known as Darth Plagueis the Wise, who was the master of Darth Sidious, Chief Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. You know who I'm talking about. And Darth Plagueis the Wise was supposed to be so wise, so powerful in the Force, in the dark side of the Force, that he was capable of manipulating midichlorians to stop death, and he was really close of manipulating them to create life. Well, why am I bringing him up? Because the only reason why this series exists is to take away the accomplishment, his accomplishment of manipulating the Force to create life and bestowing it upon Mother Anisea. Yes, this is the only reason. This is why this series exists. It's not about the threat, it's not about Smiler Ren, it's not about the corruption in the Jedi, but by the way, that is a bonus, is to sully the image of the Jedi once more, is to take away the power of Darth Plagueis and giving it to a stunning and brave woman of color. Darth Plagueis was not who came up with the idea of manipulating the Force to, using the Force to manipulate midichlorians and create life. No. And by the way, technically speaking, he didn't accomplish it. According to the old canon, because Darth Plagueis and his apprentice Darth Sidious were conducting so many horrible experiments of trying to create life through the Force, that the Force, in response to balance things out, created Anakin. But now they are telling us that this stunning and brave woman of color actually accomplished what he did not. She succeeded in creating life through the Force. Darth Plagueis is a chum who stole her idea. And why am I saying this? Because of this. In the last episode, we saw that Mai went away with Sol, and Smiler Ren took Osha with him. And he took her to this planet. And what's about this planet, you ask? I mean, it's not very remarkable. It's just a lot of ocean and islands. Well, in the old canon, there was this planet called Valdemnik. Valdemnik, this is from the Wikipedia. Valdemnik was an ocean planet adorned with rocky tropical island in the blah 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 blah. It's mostly of interest to cartographers, xenobiologists, and fisherfolk until knowledge of the planet's rich deposits of cortosis ore fell in the hands. And by the way, because this planet has cortosis, in a later scene, we see this, that this cave where Smiler Ren resides, Osha notices this, a vein of cortosis. This cave is not just a cave, it's a mine, a cortosis mine. And this planet, Valdemnik, which is rich in cortosis ore deposits, the knowledge of the existence of these deposits fell into the hands of Sith Lords Darth Tenebrous and his apprentice Darth Plagueis. You see where I'm going? This is the only reason why this series exists, is so they can connect Disney Star Wars with Darth Plagueis, so they can connect Darth Plagueis with Mother Aniseya. And another little clue about this, oh, by the way, we have a scene of Smiler Ren undressing. Why? I don't know. Who cares? The other clue is this. Smiler Ren's ship. Does it look familiar to you? Well, there are theories, and I believe they are correct, that ship is the Scimitar. The ship that Darth Maul uses in the Phantom Menace. And if you see, its profile looks a lot of what we see on that on the episode. Some profile. Okay, here this one. Here with the S-foils bent down. Here's the landing gear. Here you see the main body. It's long and sleek. The S-foils, the landing gear here behind the main body and over here. And what's so important about the Scimitar? Yes, this ship belonged to Darth Sidious, and he bestowed it upon his apprentice Darth Maul. Well, this ship is actually far older than that, because it was originally designed by Darth Tenebrous, who in his civilian life was a famed starship designer, and who was Darth Tenebrous, Darth Plagueis' master. You see, they are shamelessly trying to make us believe that the revelation of Darth Plagueis in the end is going to be a surprise. Like, oh, who could this be? What is going to happen in the next episode, in the season, or in the season finale? This is what's going to happen. They're going to reveal that Smiler Ren is actually not a master, he is actually the Acolyte, Whose acolyte? Darth Plagueis' acolyte. And through him, Darth Plagueis will learn about Osha and Mae and the Witches of Brentok if he didn't know previously about them. And he will learn about this Force technique of creating life through the Force, and he's going to become obsessed with it. And in consequence, also his apprentice, Darth Sidious. This is the only reason this series exists, is so they can connect this man to this stunning and brave woman of color. That's it. That's the big mystery of this series. Why they created this series? Because of this. Well, that and to steal more content from the old canon. Because Disney Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm are so devoid of talent that they cannot come up with an original idea to save their lives, and they have to continue appropriating and recycling content from the old stories that Disney itself decanonized. Why? Because they didn't want to pay royalties to all those creators and novelists and writers and designers and artists and all of them. They didn't want to pay royalties, so they decanonized it so they would stop producing the old canon and create their own canon. Because, for example, we finally have the long-awaited scene with the light whip. And that's all we see of the light whip. Seriously, less than 5 seconds. Played extremely stiffly by Master Venestra, played by Leslie Headland's wife, by the way, who you can tell is not a real actress because she's stiff as a board. Like, seriously, everything. Her face has no expression, the way she talks, the way she walks. It's stiff as all hell. And the light whip is nothing new. It existed for decades in the old canon. The Witches of Dathomir used to have light whips. Some old Sith lady had a light whip. Sorry, no, a Sith Lord. And the one of its most famous users was the Sith lady Lumiya, who was Emperor Palpatine's hand, one of his agents, who then he tried to turn into his apprentice, and then she went her own way. And Lady Lumiya was a really powerful Sith lady, and she was a very influential character in the old canon, and she had a light whip. And they teased us about the light whip on the series during the trailers. And this is all we get. And the other thing they stole recently in their long list of burglary, of, as Bob Iger called it, mining their IPs, the other thing from the old canon they mined. I don't need to see this again. This. I didn't notice this before, but the Jedi shuttle here, when it's joined with its hyperdrive, with its hyperdrive trailer or something, which we have seen before. Some Jedi ships are not big enough to contain a hyperdrive system, a hyperdrive engine. Notice this. Notice the shape of the general shape of this ship. It's a great gunship. It's a gunship produced by the Mandalorian starship manufacturer Mandal Motors, which was introduced in the MMORPG Star Wars Galaxies in its expansion Jump to Lightspeed, which was an expansion that added space combat, starfighter combat, to this MMORPG. It was a gunship, it was heavy, it was heavily armed, heavily armored. And look at this. And compare it to this. See anything familiar? It's practically the exact same design. These bozos are lacking so much talent that they can even design one simple starship. They went and stole the design from an older ship. Unbelievable! And this series has a budget of $180 million, and they cannot buy one original idea, one original design. And that's all I have to say about this episode, because this episode, as I said, was really, really short, just about 30 minutes long, and nothing happened except further sully the legacy of Star Wars and further ridicule Disney Lucasfilm. This is the Technomage signing off. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.